Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Crown Bell. Let me just start by saying we ain't about to trip off my attendance. I was wrong, and I've been gone, and that's it. I don't got nothing to say for myself. What I do have something to say about is this transportation situation with the Board of Education. That's a mouthful, but anyways, so I understand that there is a shortage of drivers. And it's not just New Jersey, guys. It's in other states too. I talked to my cousin in Carolina. Same situation. It's a shortage on drivers. It just is what it is. We get that. We get that to an extent because we're talking about the school bus drivers. So we get that to an extent. So, first day of school. So the first day of school, the kids are excited. We're excited. Everybody's excited. So I have two that are still in school. I have one over at Forest Hill, one at Morgan Village. So what happens now is that the students that leave Forest Hill, Morgan Village is now their neighborhood school. The students that leave Wiggins, Morgan Village is now their neighborhood school. So first day of school, the kids get to school. I get them there, whatever. I remember at the end of the school year when they said, Morgan Village will be the neighborhood school. Okay, good. You guys want to work out transportation, right? This is the end of the year. I got on it immediately. What's the transportation? Like, what are we going to do about that? Yeah, they should have transportation. They'll have all that figured out. They should. They have a whole summer to do it. So, first day of school, no transportation. Okay. We're not surprised. It's disappointing, but it's not surprising. No transportation. So I'm at work and I call each school to try to see if we can get it to where I come and pick them up early. What's your early pickup time? What's not okay and all that mess. Trying to work it out so I can do what's best for everybody in the situation. Myself, the school staff, and especially these students of ours. So the plan was Morgan Village first, Forest Hill, the house, and get my butt back to work because I'm on lunch break trying to do all of this. Nothing went according to plan. So when I get to Forest Hill, because that's where I ended up first, Forest Hill knows me a little better. So I knew that they would know that if I'm coming here to pick them up early, it's not for nonsense. Like I have to come get them and, it's something. So I'm likely to get them with less hassle and then just go. So I expected when I got there, well, Mom, they have to be picked up by this time if you're not here by that time. And I expected that much because that is the rule. So, listen, I understand it and I respect it. However, I did try to call to see what was the best time. And I'm understanding that you guys are busy, but I called several times so that I wouldn't have this problem. I'm trying to work it out too. The situation is I have to be here and there at the same time. And there's no bus, no transportation or nothing that they said is available for the student of mine that's far out. I got to drive them and I still got to be to work. I'm trying to make it work for all of us. Understood. We'll try to work something out. We'll see what we can do on our end as well. Cool. I appreciated that. That's all you can ask for is somebody to hear your individual situation. Find out what's going on with you and your children specifically and not throw you in a group and just assume. And then see if they can help. I got all of that. Thank you, Forest Hill. I appreciate you. I got it. Cooperation, compromise, like I got all of that. I got it. So when I get over to Morgan Village, I definitely got there after 2:30. I think 2:35, 2:37, something, 2:37, something along in there. It wasn't like, extremely late. It may have been a little later than that. So let's just say 2:40 maybe to be safe, but I don't know. It might not have been that late. So when I get there, hey, listen, I got to pick my son up. This is, here's the paper. And they gave me the paper with all the rules about pickup. I understand it and I respect it. However, there's no transportation for him. All he has as far as transportation And honestly, I'm still working on my own car. Right now, I got help back and forth because my car is down. So, and I still got to hit both of these schools. This is my situation. And I still got to get myself back to work at a decent time. I got a half-hour lunch. I gave myself an extra 10 minutes. And by the end of all of this back and forth, I was a whole half hour over. After my 40 minutes. And plus, including the 10 minutes that I just granted myself for lunch break. So I get there. They go over the paper with me. Okay, I understand that. But I really need to get him. There was nothing we can do. Okay. What door will he be coming out of? Because if I can get to the door, then I can meet him, and then maybe that save us some time. That might work. They're all coming out the main entrance. A couple things with that. We're supposed to be social distancing, but every student in the building is coming out the same door. Okay. And I had to wait for, in my head, it's like, okay, every student in the building, like, it's coming out the same door. I don't know what the dismissal routine is, but I just know that this is not going to end well, and I'm not going to get my son, and I'm not going to be out in time. Well, the bell should be ringing in a few minutes. It wasn't. The bell rang maybe 20 minutes after I got there. So, yeah, about 20 minutes after I got there, the bell rang. And the bell rang for the announcements. That wasn't just boom, dismissal. It was the announcements. So, beforehand, I asked security again. I said, hey, listen, can you just please relate to them? I said, there's no other parents out here trying to pick students up. It's just me. And can you please, I just want my son to come back to work. I said, you guys had a whole summer to figure out transportation, how this was going to go. I had the first day of school. This is all I had was today. Like, this is it. And I'm still understanding that you guys are busy. I'm understanding that you didn't answer the phones when I called several times. Like, I get it, but I still need my son. And it's it's a little different when you are already at work and you're not at risk of losing a job and you already where you're supposed to be. But I'm not, and I'm just trying to do the best I can. Like, I'm a supportive parent. You have that in me, but I also need support. So I need you guys to work with me right now because I got to get this boy and I got to go. So she went in the office. There's a glass wall there if you've ever been in there. She relayed the message. Kind of turned and looked at me. Looked at each other. Everybody put their heads down and finished doing what they were doing. Okay. So, about 16 to 20 minutes later, the bell goes off for the announcements. Out walks a gentleman with another paper that I already have. Yeah, Mom, this is the rules. I have the rules and stuff about early pickup. I just need my son. That's all I needed. Like, I said, this is what happens, and this is why. I said, because it's always something. Like, it never fails. It's always something. That's just, like, could have been so simple that you guys just choose to make complicated. I said, these are the reasons why people pull their students, like, and they take them to these charter schools, because this could have been handled so differently. Like, it really shouldn't have been just, oh, well, we heard what she had to say, but it could have been handled better. And so he said, you going to pull him just for that? Just because you guys are already at work and in no risk of losing your job and I could possibly lose mine by the time I get back? Or just because the board had a whole summer to figure out transportation and didn't, and I only have the first day? Or is it just because you guys are telling me that, well, if you do pick him up early every day, he's going to end up failing? I'm not responsible. It's not my fault that you guys don't have transportation. It's not my fault that I'm in this routine and running back and forth. And so I said, just because, and he said, yeah, you're right. That did sound insensitive. I did. I said, it sounded rather unprofessional as well. And unfortunately, like, I'm placed in these positions often when it comes to the Board of Education and staff where you have to be the professional. I'm the emotional part of the relationship. I'm the parent. You guys are the professionals. I shouldn't have to come here and introduce or be or play or be. None of that. Like, I'm going to handle myself responsibly. I'm going to handle myself appropriately, and I'm going to behave accordingly and all those things. I got to set an example to my children, and then not for nothing, that's just my character. But it's like, it shouldn't have to be this way all the time. It shouldn't have to be jumping through hoops and standing on your head and juggling and shuffling and shucking and jiving and putting on the show. Like, it shouldn't be all of that just to get some type of help or just to get some type of understanding or just for someone to understand that we are individuals and so are students. My specific situation is not the same as the next person's. Therefore, you cannot treat me as such. Or at least you shouldn't. Because I guess they showed that they could. So that was that. That was a lot. That was a lot. I got back, like I said, I got back to work 40 minutes late. I gave myself the 10 and it was an extra 30 by the time I did all of that, and them telling me the bell ring in a few minutes. And I was at that school for another 20-some minutes after they told me that. But I got my children, and I had to take them back to work with me. The plan was pick up the one closest to my job, then get the one closest to my house, take them home, come back to work, finish the work day, and get back to them. Nope. 2 children in my office with me while I'm working. I don't work in a school building. If I did, I understand students in the office or something, but I don't work in a school building. I work insurance. But now this is my situation because I couldn't get any type of any type of understanding, any type of assistance, any type of help, or any type of like cooperation. Nobody willing to bend, break, compromise. Like nobody wanted to do nothing on that side on that day. That's a lot. That's not okay. So, do we know what's going on with transportation? Well, we have transportation for students that have IEPs and things of that nature, and disabilities and things like that. Understood. That point is understood. Then I was told that there's a bus that wasn't available that morning that would now be available to the students in Parkside by the next day. From their understanding, it would be at 8:15 regular time, then at 8:40 or 8:45 for the late students. The bus will come around again for the Parkside neighborhood students. Okay, good. He has to be on his bus. How do I find out? So come to find out, he wasn't on the bus. His name's not on the bus. Those students already had something sent to them. If I didn't get it, he wasn't one. Let me check the list. Nope, he's not on the list, so we don't transport him. Can I find out why? Well, if he doesn't have, again, the IEP, so everybody on the bus has an IEP. So now he's being discriminated against because he doesn't have one. He can't get on his bus. Okay. We'll do that then. So I called the board, and I'm calling around to find out, because at the time I'm like, well, we live 2 miles. I know 2 miles is transportation. That much I know. So I call a few people. I talked to a few people as I'm trying to, again, pick him up. And that's, again, well, if you're going to keep picking him up early every day, I can't get him every day. In fact, the first day I didn't get him early at all. You ignored me. So it's not every day. But what I try to do is flip-flop. So pick one up early one day, pick the other one up early the next day, and I'll go from there. So this way, they're getting something at the end of these classes at the end of the day. I shouldn't be penalized, because I'm still like, I know he has to be on the bus, because he has to be 2 miles or over. He gotta be. So a few days in, and then I find out he's not 2 miles. I get a call back from the head of transportation, and I believe Camden BOE. He wasn't the state level, because of our conversation. It leads me to believe that he wasn't state level, but school district head of transportation. And he said, this is a part of the job that I kind of hate, but here we are. Your son is 1.9 miles away from the school. Okay, sorry about that. I had a phone call come through. So yeah, so he's 1.9. Nice. I said, well, I'm looking at the routes, and right here it's saying he's 2. Oh, well, put it on walking. Use Google Maps. Put it on walking. Okay, so here, right. But then there's another route that says this. Okay, so you guys look for the short. Well, that's our job. We got to look for the shortest route. So like I said, it's not the greatest thing, but this is what we have to do. Well played. Sorry, it was a phone call again. It was my nephew. So yeah, I'm like, okay, well played. Because if he's 2.0, I would want him on a bus. So you're saying that because he's 1.9, that's why he doesn't have transportation, correct? Yeah, because he's 1.9. But if he was, 2 miles or greater, then, we would provide transportation. So that's the only reason. Okay. Yeah, because we're not responsible at that point. In fact, we can't transport under 2.0. I said, I understood. Here's my issue with that, though. I said the distance, walking distance, Google Maps walking between your Wiggins school And that's the Wigan School building, because some houses is actually closer. But your Wigan School to Morgan Village Middle School is 1.9 miles. It's the same 1.9 that my son is. And you guys are transporting. You didn't even pick the student with the closest house and tell them all to meet there. The school buildings, 1.9 miles. So the same tenth of a mile is missing. But you're transporting students from that school. It doesn't matter if they have an IEP. It doesn't matter if they have to pee. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. They're getting transportation. So now I'm really confused as to why my son is not on a bus. So if you provide transportation for them, I'm confused as to why all of the students from Parkside don't have transportation, because they should. Oh, well, you have to understand that we closed their school. I do understand. I watched it. But I also understand that you closed our school too. See, because Hatch was our middle school. And you closed our school long before you closed theirs. So we didn't have a middle school. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, what time should we expect our bus? Well, the shuttle we provide for Wiggins, again, we closed their school, and that's something that was okayed by the state, and that was okay. Well, how do we get the state to okay a shuttle for our students? Because apparently the term shuttle and bus makes a difference, and maybe that's why it's okay to transport, because one's a shuttle and one's a school bus. I don't know. Either way, then have one come to Forest Hill or Camden High to pick up the rest of the students in our area and get them to school. And they all should be able to get on regardless. So now how do I get in touch with the person from the state that okayed this? Because I need to speak with them too, because I need somebody to make this all make sense to me. Because otherwise, something else is going on. Otherwise, what is it about the students over here at Parkside that came from Forest Hill that, what about them makes them less to you guys? Why do you look at them like they're any less than the students that came from Wiggins? Why weren't they provided the same transportation, especially when our school's been closed longer? So you definitely, if you came up with a solution over the summer for those students, you should have definitely had a solution for our students over in Parkside, because our school's been closed longer. You had more time to work and figure it out and map it out. But no, it was left up to us to figure out and work out how and why. Okay, we have that. So, well, that was up to, that's a state issue. And again, there's also the shortage on drivers. You're right. Can't argue with that. There's a shortage on drivers. I said, but if I sold the house, I'd have enough money to go to a coach company with their own drivers and contract the drivers. They already have passenger endorsements and all that mess. So to contract these drivers to get them to transport students. You guys are selling school buildings. So again, there's places out there with drivers that are willing to do the job. You guys just don't want to contract them to do the job. You have the money, you're selling our school buildings. Make it make sense. So I'm still now waiting to hear back from someone. No one was able to give me a number to anyone at the state, or the next level, or their supervisor, or anybody that can explain. So what I did was I took the walk. I took the walk that my son would have to take. This 1.9 mile walk. I don't know what time of morning they're expecting him to leave out. It's winter time. It's coming soon. It's gonna be getting cold outside. It's going to be darker later into the morning. It probably won't really start getting light, or a good amount of light out at 7 a.m. But I'm still confused on what time should I send my 11-year-old out the door to walk down the street by himself to school. Most of the corners, even on a school day, because I took the walk yesterday, which is a weekend, but even on a school day, most of the corners don't have crossing guards. You have lots, overgrown abandoned car lots, abandoned vehicles. Like, There is drug needles all over the ground. There's people living underneath the underpasses. There's a man who was there. I walked up and I walked to the school and walked all the way back. There's a man there, naked with half a cover over him, and they're out there every day. People right off to the side of me, getting high as I'm walking by, recording all of this. And this is what my 11-year-old is supposed to, walk through every day. And this is what makes sense to them. So, yeah, that's not okay. That's not it. That doesn't work. And on top of all of that, he's asthmatic. So this isn't like where even, let's say, well, your kids play sports. They do, okay, yeah, and they get breaks in between. They can sit down for a few minutes. He has to be to school. He has to be there on time or he's penalized. So he can't stop and take breaks. There's no crossing guards. There's no one out there to keep him safe at 11 years old by himself. So where is he supposed to stop and take these breaks at in between? He can't. He got to keep on trucking. So he's going to be in trouble either way. And it's not like we're not aware of his asthma because they sent home, oh, Mom, here's his asthma action plan. We saw it in his record. So you're aware that he has asthma and you're still okay with him taking his walk. So I'm going to need somebody at the board to make this make sense and get back to me or do something. Parents, Parkside, do something. Because I know some of your students are on the bus, but there's a lot of students who aren't because I see them out there waiting for a rise to get picked up, back and forth, whatever. So something's going to have to give. And our students deserve just as much as everybody else's, if not more. We've been waiting longer for solutions. Stand up, Parkside. Don't let them do it to you. Don't let them do it to your babies. They deserve better. Make them give them better.